So we're going to do two halves today. We're going to do the first half, the culmination breathwork ceremony to finalize this whole experience and bring everything together. And then we're going to do like a Q&A at the end where it'll be like a sharing circle where you'll have a chance to come on, share anything that you might have with us live or through the text. Okay, so this is where we can get more interaction going, and I can answer any questions you might have, and for you to also share your love with the experiences we've had so far and any feedback that you might have, okay, and how SOMA may have impacted you. All right, so let's get straight into today's session. First, to start this all off, as the theme of this is mind, body, and soul, I want to ask the question to you all. What does soul mean to you? What is the meaning of the word soul? So type that into the comments. I'd love to see what you all think about the soul. Go for it. Because there's so many ways you can think about what soul really means. What is it really? Okay, so we're getting some responses now already. Eternity. Okay, the eternal soul. Essence. My essence. Nice. Essence. Who I truly am. The truth. Eternal spark of God consciousness. My core essence. The whole and the truth of me. The part of you that returns in each lifetime, not your ego. Great question. Great answers. To me, soul is the fundamental inner being that I still wish to find. Soul is the essence of life, connection to source, love, true self, higher self, connection to all that is. What is it? That's the question. Universal, eternal entity outside of time and space. Originator is the all-mind, universal consciousness, the spark of life, the I am. Interesting. So I'm going to, getting so many good responses is fantastic. Eternal source spark. I like that. It sounds like a cool name for a track. Might have to call one of my songs that. The part of me that will live forever. The I am. I think the soul is the energy and the mind connected to the one ultimate source, God, grand organized designer. I like that. Yes. My connection to a higher being. Beautiful. All right, so let me talk a few different perspectives on soul. So a few things came up here when you're talking about truth, about energy, eternity, things like that, higher self. And you probably hear me also in some of my sessions talking about being connected to all that is and the higher self and connecting with your higher power. So you see, there's so many different perceptions and meanings that can be given to soul. And there's the materialistic perspective, which is almost, and the atheist materialistic perspective kind of believes there is no soul. Is anyone here an atheist who believes there is no soul? No such thing as soul, and we're just matter, like random matter that came together with no purpose whatsoever, and we're just randomly going through time and space right now with no real meaning or purpose. Does anyone believe that on here? Let's see. Any real hardcore atheists on this chat? Heather says no. Oh, Andrea Petrick sometimes feels that way. Well, so far it's more a belief than a real feeling. Okay. Or knowing. So it's very, the fact that there's not been a single response to this is really interesting. So there are people, and probably quite a large group of people, who don't believe in a soul, who believe we're just matter flying around space with no purpose at all. Then there's the religious, organized religious perspective, like the Abrahamic religions have their own definition of soul. The Hindu faith has its own way of dealing with soul. And then the Eastern mysticism is very different from the Christian in certain aspects of what is soul. So there's many different interpretations. Okay, and the one I like to go down is the perspective of there being a fundamental natural state of being that is the observer of our experience that we're having through life and reality in the universe and all these things, time and space. So there is this observer, then there is the doer, the I, the ego. Then there is the other essence, some other higher realm. You could even say there's a triad of different beings or systems of energy within this being of us, our mind, right? So whether there is a soul or soul exists is to be interpreted in however you wish. But I do believe that there are certain states of mind and awareness where we can connect more to a sense of knowing of that originates from something more eternal. And if you look at the Tibetan Buddhist system, you can see that what they believe is that there is many layers of conditioning that creates the I, the ego. And this is like almost like creating a predictive program of actions and habits and things that lead us to a predetermined, predestined result. And so when we surrender to this conditioning and create a state of peace and try and suppress the desire, the karmic desire that we have, we can then transcend this and awaken and come out of this sleeping trance, right, state that we're all in. So the way I quite like that perspective. So there's also in Hinduism the theory of karma and action, and that we are born with a certain amount of karma that we need to release in this time in order for us to learn and then move on to the next reincarnation. But ultimately, if we really understand truth and self, or connect with the soul, then it means that we can actually blast through a lot of this karma earlier so that we can then break through and break out of this system of birth and death and rebirth, right? So there are different ways of looking at what is soul. But I like to now look at things more practically. So let's think in terms of now yourself, right? And if you believe right now that you are exactly where you want to be in your life and you're really achieving the things that you want to achieve and you're completely in control of your destiny, right? You could think that, but you could also be somebody who thinks that perhaps life has brought you somewhere where you may not want to be right now, and it almost feels like you have had no consciousness, awareness of the things that have led you to being where you are today. So I'm going to ask you this question first: is what are all the things that have happened in your life today to bring you to where you are now? If you think about it, your life is just a series of many different events and pieces of information arriving that you've consumed and transmitted or translated in a certain way that's created a timeline of events that's led you to who you are today. But is it according to your will, or has it been according to the will of others? How many of you on here right now believe that perhaps you have led a life mostly under the influence of other people's influence over you? Or how many of you right now believe that you're completely in control of your destiny and that you've been in control of it this whole time? And what is controlling that? What is the driver of that destiny? So let me give you my own example. For many years, I was a student, a very bad student, like always rebellious at school. My heart and soul, when we say soul, we always talk about quite often in terms of what I really want to do, right? But my heart and soul was really drawn towards music. And I felt deeply a connection with music. And I wanted to do something with music, right? So my soul was going in that direction. However, I come from a very traditional Indian academic family who wanted me to become a good, like, have a safe, secure job, like a pharmacist, doctor, dentist type thing. So I became a pharmacist. But the more I went towards pharmacy, the more it steered me away from my truth of what I wanted to do, was to be a musician. So what I did on the side was I worked quite hard to create my own music business. I ran events and I was doing quite well. Then what happened was I got into a lot of hedonistic activity. Things didn't work out so well, and I ended up losing everything and ended up straight back to being the pharmacist, right? So I went and actually then had to become a pharmacist and spend many years of pain going through that journey, right? However, my soul still craved something to do. I wanted to do something that helped people with music. And it evolved. My soul learnt and evolved its desires. I don't believe now for a moment that soul is a fixed thing. I think it's something that also changes, transforms, learns and grows, right? But I feel it's like my knowing of what's true and what's right, right? However, what happens is then life puts over it a bunch of ideas, okay, right? And what happens is we have this other part of our brain, the ego, right in the brainstem, the reptilian, that what it really cares about is safety and security and survival at all costs, right? Your soul doesn't care about, actually, if you think about it, about death. It doesn't care about taking risks. It just wants to do that thing that it knows it's true. However, other parts of you takes you in other directions, the ego, right? And that ego is what's programmed by existence to keep you, to make you feel safe and to do whatever it can to keep you safe. However, when you are very safe and secure, right? When you're doing all the things that society wants you to do, the soul, which doesn't care so much about safety, doesn't necessarily feel safe. Okay? It can feel it has another sense of awareness about truth, about what's right. And so, well, right for you, for that energetic imprint that is your existence. So what happens is, as you grow and learn through life, right? Because I did the pharmacy thing, I did that thing to impress my parents, did all that, fit in society. I was super miserable, unhappy. Even though I layered on all this materialness around me, I was still incredibly unhappy, right? And if the soul doesn't feel safe, you won't feel happy. You may have this fake illusion of happiness, but you won't genuinely feel happy. And I think that the measurement of soul, of whether your soul is feeling safe, okay, not your ego feeling safe, but your soul feeling safe, is your state, your emotional state of peace. So let's look at emotions and on a scale of energy, level of vibrational energy, right, is LOVE, love. So when you're full of love, where you have absolute love for yourself and love for everything else, you enter into a state of peace, equanimity, right? And that is, in my opinion, the ultimate state where your soul feels happy and safe, right? Now, the opposite end of that, where you have no love for anything, even yourself, is pure apathy, right? And that's the opposite end of the scale. And so, quite a lot of people who just do what society tells them to do, and I'm one of those people included, end up doing everything that makes their ego feel safe, right? But they forget about the soul consciousness, the truth, and they don't feel peace. They feel, and then they go down a scale. They may go from right the center of just your being to then actual anger, resentment, hatred, jealousy. And when you start feeling these emotions, you're going against the soul. And right at the end of that is apathy, where there's zero love for self. And when you're in this state where you're not listening to soul consciousness, the soul speak, right? You are becoming self-destructive, right? But when you enter into the state of peace, that's when you do the things that are really good for you, that make not just your physical entity safe, but also your soul thrives too. And that's where great things can come from. But here's the thing. The soul has no concern for death, right? pain, or any of these things. The soul just wants to get you, or get itself, to a state of peace. So what will happen is, if you're at a low vibrational state, you will learn and learn and learn and grow and make mistakes, which then turn into lessons for life, that will keep strengthening and helping your soul perfect itself till you enter into that state of peace, right? And in the Vedic system, the theory of karma is when you get into this state of peace, when you have cleared all of the karma, the desire that we have on this planet. So here's one way for you to have a look at your life, all right? You see, one of the reasons why people get unhappy and depressed, and they kind of create an illusion of their happiness, is because they are trying to act like they're peaceful monks way too soon in their life, right? And in the yogic Vedic tradition, which SOMA Breath is based upon, there are 4 stages to your life, right? The first stage, you are the student. So you should be making as many mistakes as you can in order to learn, fail fast and learn and grow, right? Then, as you go through teenagehood, into young adulthood, you now become a provider, right? So here, you are now going from just being a student to now actually providing, right? Where you've learned a lot of stuff, and now you're creating to give back. You're contributing, okay? Either to just your family, or you create a way to contribute to more, right? And you'll learn a lot about your soul when you start to give back, contribute, because that's the need of the soul, is to give back, to contribute, and to feel connected to all things, because that's what soul came from, everything. And then we became separate in this body. The soul wants connection and wants to come back and connect with all things. So that's the student, going from student to now provider. And the third phase is the one of now teacher. Okay? This is when you start to teach. So that can be like 40 to 60, or like 45 to 65, depending, on how quickly you're going through this. So this is when you start to teach other people. You start to teach your skills. You start to contribute that way, and you start sharing your knowledge with others, right? So provider is where you're working, providing, getting material stuff to create sanctuary for your family. So it's okay to be materialistic at that point. Then at the third phase, you start to release all your desires for material things, and you start to give back more, right? Slowly start to, and then the fourth phase, the last phase, is when you become that peaceful monk, because you've done everything on this planet. You've fulfilled all your karma, and you've satisfied the soul's journey on this planet. And this could be where you start to release all your attachment and desire for stuff. All right? And you go into more and more minimal monk style existence. Right? But what happens is, a lot of people, they read a book, or they encounter some person who kind of makes them feel like they need to be a monk right now, and they may only be like 18 years old, right? And they may have all this desire and karma that they haven't actually used and learned from yet, okay? And what they do is they to rebel against their parents, because their parents are like, no, you've got to study, you're a student, study, right? Because you need to get that job and a career, right? They're like, no, I don't want to do that. And I'm going to rebel against my parents. I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to become a monk. So they go off and become a monk when they're like 16, 17. And then what happens is that might work for a bit, but then because they haven't released all of this karma, they have a lot of suppressed desire. And that manifests then in weird ways later on in their life, or they end up penniless, broke, and they're like, oh my God, I don't have a job, I didn't study, what am I going to do now? Wish I listened to my parents, and they end up living with their parents. You know, I know stories like that. The reason I'm giving these stories is I know stories like this about people who try to be monks at the wrong phase of their life, right, and then went a little bit crazy later on. And actually, if you go to Copenhagen, there's quite a few people who are trying to be who they maybe shouldn't be or don't need to be, because, and they're only doing what they're doing because society has, you know, the internet has created a lot of illusions about what's right, and you know, and things like that. So I don't want to go into that too much, but the soul will force you eventually to learn and grow, right? Even if you die, even if it means getting sick, right? And having a disease, like what happened to me. So what happened was I had so much anger and frustration built up inside. I had had a lot of resentment for my own parents, even though they worked really hard to, you know, give me what I needed. And still I was having this anger and resentment because I was a failed musician at the time, and I was a pharmacist. Didn't want to do that. But in hindsight, if I look at it, they did the very best thing, right? Because that soul journey with the battle with the ego led me to now being in a far better position to help people with a pharmacy background. So I have more, you know, influence, take it more seriously, and I've also had the chance to make music and produce music. So I've got my outlet for music. So it all happened in the end. All of my dreams came true. However, there was a serious battle with the ego and what my soul wanted. And actually, part of my healing process and what got me sick was that what got me sick in the first place was all this anger, fear, resentment, frustration about the planet manifesting and putting me in my place, right? But if you look at it, the healing journey required me to create the practice of gratitude, forgiveness, compassion, kindness, and then also finding how to create a system to help many people, not just myself, and not just that little pharmacy that I had, now going way beyond that. And also then what happened was, you see, when I tried, my ego wanted me to get into the music industry, right? So I tried very hard in my 20s to get into the music industry. But there's this sense that we have, and this is what I'm going to help you to get in touch with. Every time I tried to get into the music industry, something stopped me from going to the pushing it to the edge where I would have got really successful in it. There was a fear of success in the music industry because that was not the culture for me, and that wasn't the kind of music that was connecting with my soul. Right? That was not connected to my soul. And it's the music I'm making now that is so much more in alignment with who I am, my truth. All right? So the music process becomes effortless. I know, I tell you, when you're in connection with your soul, in flow, it's when life becomes easy, right? It's like, well, even though you may have to do a lot of work, hard work, it's flowy, it flows, and you have this sense of knowing deep within that you're doing the right thing, and it feels right, right? And what we need to start getting really good at is being really honest with ourselves to know when something is right and when it's not. All right? And this comes down to our interactions with the people you surround yourself with, right? You know, there's times when you go and you go to a party, for example, you go to some kind of event, and there's people who make you feel really expanded and like, yes, I love my life just being around them. And then there's others just make you kind of contract. They just make you feel a little bit contracted around them. And your ego might be saying, oh, I just got to pretend to be nice to this person and be their friend because it's going to help me. They've got connections, right? But something in you makes you resist and contract. And if you lie to yourself, right, if you're not honest with yourself and you go with that ego decision, what could happen is that person could really take you off your life path into some, even though they may have all these connections, they may just send you off on a tangent in somewhere where you actually go off your soul path, your soul journey. So we have this intuition, this inner knowing, this instinct, and many of you have said this already. We have it, and the baseline emotion of that knowing is a sense of peace, right? And those higher vibrations of joy and passion, right? That's what the soul feels, right? And this knowing, when you get into environments, it will also tell you when you feel contracted or expanded, whether that interaction is a right interaction for you or not. And also you can use this when you listen to music. Let's say you're an artist. If you create something, paint something, or produce some music, and you're hearing it, and you feel complete peace when you hear it, and you're like, yes, this is it. This is the one. You connect with that groove, and it's like that Ama Mavida track, man. When I was making it, you heard it. It was so effortless, came together so quick, boom, boom, boom. Every lyric just flowed. It was effortless. That song came from the heart of each artist that was involved in creating it. And you feel it. But when you go off your path, right? When you know, or when you make some music that is, you're trying to make it because it sounds like something else, and that something else may be popular at that time, and that's the only reason why you're making it, you're not being true to your soul, your heart, your depth of your entire being. And at that point, you're going to feel resistance, contraction. Okay, you're going to feel it, but quite often we override that sensation, and because we're not true to ourselves. So all of those words that we've said, truth is when we're really honest. We can ask ourselves these questions about what is true about ourselves, and these things can be revealed to us very, very effectively and powerfully. This sense of knowing, this feeling of knowing, right, through breath work. Breath work is one of the best and most powerful, fastest modalities for creating dramatic changes, but also connecting to that deep essence within. So we're going to do a little breathwork session now, okay, to connect with this sense of knowing, right? And this sense of knowing gets even more heightened in the gamma brainwave state. So we're going to get into this state, okay? So I've been going on a bit right now, talking a lot. So I just want to see, like, give me a heart or a comment. Am I making sense? Am I connecting with your soul right now with the things I'm saying? Does this make sense? Yes. Nice. Fantastic. So there's this sense of knowing the soul will always get you to where you want to go when you become friends with it, and so will the ego. And this is the truth, right? So we have the power to bring all of these things into alignment and connect with each and every single one of us as there is whole. And then there is no separation between ego, soul, or any of these things. It's just I am, right? And that's the state we want to be in, is where the ego is your friend and the soul is your truth, and we're connected to all of that, and that brings us into the state of I am, right? Okay, that's what it's about. And that then there is no mistakes. Everything is meant to be as it's supposed to be, and you're at peace with that. And whatever events life throws at you, you are able to handle it, and it doesn't make you completely go into apathy, and it keeps you in a state of peace, equanimity. And if you do go into those low vibrations, you have a way to just quickly learn what you need to learn from them and then move on and go with the flow, all right? So this is really important stuff, because we're going into a very crazy time right now in the world, and we can easily get scared and do things to ourselves that we're not really that's not really in alignment, okay? So we must stay true to ourselves, our knowing, and feel that and do what's right, all right? Because yes, we are in a very, very crazy, strange time right now, which will pass. They always pass. Okay. So we're going to, I love that. Low vibrations are like fertilizer for the higher ones. Yes, that's how we learn and grow. I love it. So everybody get ready now. Let's get ready. We're going to do a more intense, powerful breathing session. Okay. So I want you to sit down. Right, and keep your back straight. And the way we're going to do the breathing for this, yes, this is a good way to look at it, Heather, too. The only thing I would say is that spirit, soul, energy, essence, the godness, the divinity, they're all, I think, all words that mean the same thing. Even the tangents that we appear to go off on are not tangents. It is still our pathway, whether it is yes, see, that's the thing. That's the thing about life. Like, it's really hard to know if everything is already predetermined, is exactly how it's meant to be, and that we have no control over this, or we are in some kind of control, an illusion of control, or we are in some. It's really hard. Nobody can prove one or the other way. That's the beauty of life, is that we can't prove this. Are we predetermined to have this? Maybe there's many different multiverses, and we can bend reality and go down any reality tunnel that we want with free will. But is there such a thing as free will, or is it all conditioned will? What I love about breathwork is that I feel it wakes up this sense of truth and knowing and will. What's our true will? And through that, we can become our own programmers, our own architects of our reality. I like to play that game of life. However, it could be completely not true, and we could be completely under this illusion of free will. And like the Buddhist said, life is just predetermined already, and the future is already there as our destiny, and we just have to surrender to that conditioning. That could also be true. It's so hard to prove either or, and people argue and they go to war against these sorts of questions, and religions get formed and battles happen over just things like this, which is crazy. So, all right, so we're all ready? Are we ready to do this session? Okay. So, the way we're going to do this breathing, okay, you're going to breathe in through your nose and out through the mouth, but you're going to make a tone. Okay, and when you breathe in, you're going to squeeze the Ashwini Mudra, which is the muscles around your sphincter. Okay, so you're going to pull them up. So we sometimes say Mula Bandha, but more accurately, it's the Ashwini Mudra. All right, these are the muscles around your sphincter. You pull them up, contract, squeeze, and let go with a sigh. Okay, so you're going to be doing that to a beat. I'm going to guide it. You're going to just go with that flow and just let yourself go with that flow. And at the end, you're going to breathe in, squeeze, pull those muscles up, of the sphincter muscles, contract, hold your breath in for a few seconds, and then you're going to release with a tone. Om. For as long as you can. And we're going to do some Oms at the end. Okay? So let's do this. Let's get ready. Just going to cue up the music. Okay, can you hear the music? So with your eyes closed, bring your awareness to the sound. Any sound that catches your attention. And as you tune into that sound, bring your awareness to the beat. And notice that beat is like the beat of your heart. Bring your awareness now to that pulse, that beat, beating in the center of your chest. That's right. And start tapping the beat. We're going to wake up the soul. So just tapping that beat. Third eye. Tapping that beat. Size of your heads. breathe. Now this. Now breathe in. As you inhale, stick your chest out and let go of the exhale. Pulling your arms backward every inhale and letting go of the exhale. That's right, keep breathing, keep connecting. Breathe in fully in. Hold. Pull up the pelvic floor and release to the tone. Yes. And let's get back. breathe in. Hold your breath in. And release. Faster. Breathe in, hold, squeeze, bringing up the Ashwini Mudra. Now bring your awareness to the light, and imagine now as you make that tone, imagine radiating with this tone. Keep making the tone. Keep making that tone and spread that love everywhere. Imagine you are spreading the love from the soul, radiating it out, projecting it to the entire universe. The intention of pure love, love for all. the state of absolute peace and oneness with all that is. This is your truth. And remember that this state is a state you can go to whenever you choose, wish. The power of your breath, rhythm, connecting to that spirit deep within your essence, your heart. And know that your intention is directly related to the results that you create. Your intention is the result you want for your life. So whenever you create a strong intention, your entire being will control itself, manipulate itself, and morph into exactly the things you need to do to achieve that result. So you must be very careful of what your intention is, because that is the result you will create for your life. So when you achieve the state of peace as your goal, that is your pure intention. It begins with understanding what peace means to you. So your homework for today, with experience, through this meditation, is to think deeply with what makes you feel at peace. But know that this is not a state of mind that we have to always experience permanently on this existence of life, on this planet Earth. And that you are allowed to experience any emotion you wish. And you should, in order to learn and grow. So be completely kind, with pure compassion, and have no guilt for anything you've done in the past. But just learn from any mistake you may have made, or what you feel has been a mistake. There is no mistakes, only lessons. And learn from those lessons. But never hold on to the pain of resentment, guilt, anger, or frustration, especially towards yourself. Because after all, you're just on this life learning and growing. Practicing forgiveness, compassion, kindness towards self is the foundations of cultivating peace. There cannot be peace if you hold on to these emotions of the past about yourself and others. So another piece of homework is for you to write down all of the things that have caused you to fall away from peace, and that maybe you still need to work through. Guilt, forgiveness, compassion. Any of those emotions, especially about yourself, things that you may have done to others or to yourself, and write them down. and let them go. You could even create a fire ritual and burn those intentions away, those emotions away. Let them go, because it's the past. Past does not equal the future. Past is the past. It's gone. Once you let go of the past and not have fear of the future, and when you look to the future with courage and acceptance, that's when life becomes effortless. So, much love, everybody. Brings us to the end of this session. So just bring yourself back into the present moment. Bring your awareness back into the body, into the present moment. That's right. You can open your eyes. And know that you shall go away from this experience supercharged with a radiant energy from your higher self, filled with positive energy for the day ahead. Peace. All right. Looks like we're getting loads of feedback already. Wow. I thought maybe you're all in trance still, but getting some amazing feedback. So, perhaps someone wants to come on the call, share some of your feedback on today's call. Now we are with the sharing circle, with opportunity for you to ask questions and give feedback, things like that. Nice. Music is definitely going to another level, right? Haha. Taking music to a whole new level. Wow, so much cool feedback. Right. When will your book be released or realized? I'm still working on it. Great question. Great question. No idea yet. Soon. Thank you, Jackie. Much gratefulness, Niraj. That was an incredible session, so powerful, wonderful music, great connection. Yay. Oh, why I had dinosaur hands. Yes. You could do, for sure. From the tetany. It's called tetany. Hey, Alex, my brother from Copenhagen. Sending you love too. Wow.
Hi, Niraj. whilst you're
Yeah.
waiting for people to throw in some questions and grab some stamina and courage to join you on the live. You know you want to
Yes.
be here with Niraj. Come on, I'll send you the
Yeah.
link and you can join us. But there were some comments that you might have missed while you were talking,
Yes. Go
and
for it.
it was from May Cyril. She's been with us for ages, so I thought we'd give her a shout out. She made a really,
Yes.
really good comment. She's put SOMA for me is flow with the inner glow. Yeah, she's always
Yeah.
rhyming stuff up there. But SOMA for me is flow with the inner glow, and man, does it shine bright. Before, I was controlled by fear of failure, constant worrying, what will tomorrow bring? But man, was this exhausting. Today, I have gained ability to breathe, to live, to actually enjoy life, and to feel the connection with myself. That sums up SOMA. I think that's what SOMA brings to people, right? So I
Yes.
thought you couldn't miss that quote, May. Thank you
So
so
much
much
so
for
much.
that. Does May want to join us? Because she's been a community member for so long. May, would you join us? Would you be daring to join us?
Sure.
I screenshot some other stuff as well. Quite a few people, when you asked them about the soul and what the meaning of the soul was, try and summarize quite a few people's comments. It was like they were saying that they were following, and I wrote this down as well, that you're following a path that you think is your soul, yeah, because you see that it's making a lot of people around you happy,
Yeah.
but you realize you're on that path because you were led to it by someone else, which is normally your family or your very
Yeah.
close circle. And it's I wrote down, it's a fine line between then realizing that that path isn't your chosen path, but it's the path you're on and that you're used to. And how do you then compromise between those two? Because then you feel, if you have a very kind soul, and you know you're letting people down if you decide now you want to go on your own path, how do you deal with those two issues? And a lot of
Great
people were
question.
making that kind of comments as well. I mean, that's kind of my question, but then some other people also tagged onto that, and it was like, what do you do when you want to go down your path, but you know you're letting other people down in that thing? How do you step away, you know?
So, uh, okay, so there's it depends on circumstance, right? So, like, there are people who like really are super conditioned by their parents, you know, like to the point where they have to marry the person they say and all this stuff. And but they may be in love with somebody else and they may not want to be a doctor or whatever, you know, and their parents are really like kind of predetermined their life for them already. I know several people who have been in that moment. And it's a really tricky one because like to to go down the path of insecurity of you know where you're taking risks requires crazy amounts of work on yourself, and you've got to be really good, right, to be able to break free of the norm and to excel going down anything that is not the usual safe things requires a lot of hard work on yourself. Now, unless you're willing to do that hard work, right, then you better do what your parents tell you to do, right? And that's it's like some of it's just like it's practical. It's like the universe will give you, in my opinion, whatever you need. You ask for it, but you've got to also put in the effort that it takes. You have to be realistic, right? Like, let's look at your son, for example, right? Your son is excellent at what he does, right? As a football player, right? As a doing the tricks and whatever.
Freestyler, yeah,
Yeah,
freestyle.
but he didn't. I don't think he woke up overnight being that good, right?
Right.
He practiced and practiced probably a lot to get to that point.
Yeah. Ever since he was little, didn't stop. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everywhere we went, he took the football with him.
you have to
Yeah.
be. The soul is usually like extremely passionate, right? And if you are not connecting with something that drives you to the point of madness, of in terms of like, okay, you do all your homework, you get all that done, but then you will spend the other 4 hours of the day or whatever just practicing on your thing and not watching TV
Mm.
or playing computer games or hanging out with your kids who aren't going to go anywhere in their life, beyond their little thing. Unless you're willing to really do what your soul wants, right? And it's scary sometimes to do it because the ego's like, oh, I want to watch that TV show because my friend said, they'll think I'm cooler if I do. Or I want to, go and hang out with the kids after school and do whatever they do behind the bike sheds. So like the ego will take you into immediate safety. The
Hmm.
soul doesn't care about immediate safety. It cares about peace, attaining a state of peace. And it will do whatever it can to get you to that, eventually to that state of peace, even if that means death,
Right.
right? So when you don't truly listen to the soul, you will not be obsessed enough to be so good where your parents are like, actually, maybe you should do that thing.
Yeah, I was
Or
just about to say
something.
you will.
Yeah,
It's almost like the soul will kind of lead you to a sort of balance because it's taking you to exactly where you're feeling it's all right,
yeah,
and it's not going to be bad. You're not going to give anything out that's bad, I guess. So yeah, no, I get it. And I do say to my son as well, I say to him when he has to deal with other people who think that everything's just come to him easy, I always remind him, don't forget, you're right, he didn't watch TV, he wasn't here slopping around on the couch, he was with that football night and day.
there you
we
go.
walked we walked out to a restaurant, the ball was in his hand, getting told off by his dad that he's going to kick it onto the road, but mum let him bring it. So he was like,
Yeah,
but learning through SOMA, I'm so aware of making sure my influence is balanced
yes,
now, yeah, because and actually tuning in with really what it is they like and what they want. I mean, it affects so many things down to then if they want to go to uni, how you lead them, how you can just have the discussion with them, because the discussion
yes,
should be for them, not you. You're not going to go
yes.
and sit there at uni studying because you want you want them to have that degree. So yeah, no, there's quite a few people were interested in that.
And
um
also, I'm not saying anything that's set in stone here. It's like it's for you to really only you know the answers to things. Like the people listen. So all these breathing techniques do is they take you out of your ordinary state of thinking, so you can see things in a slightly different way. That's what it does. These are tools. But it's up to you to interpret those things, and it's going to be unique and individual to everyone.
Niraj, I'm going to just put the link for anyone who wants to join us on Zoom, because it looks like my Cyril would join us. I think you can't because you don't have Zoom, but if I send you the connection, you can just join us. So if
Yes.
I just put the link inside Facebook, and anyone who would like to chat, please join us.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on.
Great.
Let me see how I can invite anybody else.
And while we're waiting for people to join, I just want to remind you that we do have an amazing school. SOMA Breath isn't just fun workshops online. We do have a whole school where we teach you how to help people find, who their truth is and go after their truth, and to create healthy habits that will help them to in all areas of their life. So we have instructor training school, we have different courses, the awakening experience over 12 days, 21 days, and we also have the breath fit protocol as well, which is 11 days. So I recommend checking out some of our courses if you haven't done already. I'm sure Wilma can send some links to it. And also that we have an instructor training, and if you want to step up and really help other people to transform and make the best out of themselves, and to really learn deep spiritual like lessons can really help people connect with their truth, then definitely join our instructor training school. So I'm sure Wilma will post some links for you to check that out if you haven't already. And maybe you have some questions about that and our various courses as well. So feel free to ask questions as well. All right. That and our various courses as well. So feel free to ask questions as well. All right. All right. So feel free to ask questions as well. I got Heather's joining us. Cool. Heather's joining us.
Yeah, Heather and Andrea here. If you just turn your cameras on, please. Yes. Yay!
Oh.
Got some brave souls.
Nice. Excuse the mess I look.
No. You're all organised at the back there, Heather. We can see all the filing is done really well there, so that's really good.
You can see the rest of the room.
And Andrea, if you put your camera on, you can join us too.
Okay, Heather, so what would you like to say?
I've almost forgotten now, actually.
She's starstruck.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, this is wonderful. Thank you so much. I work as an energy and intuitive. Oh, I've got an echo here.
Ah.
I work as an energy and intuitive healer and spiritual medium. And I've done a lot of work on myself, as well as with the help of others over the years.
Heather, sorry, have you got your Facebook? Is it running in the background? Because if the volume's on, we'll get the echo on the screen.
I don't know. How do I do that?
Can you see a little micro speaker on the right-hand side?
Yeah, just mute the.
If you mute the volume.
I don't know what.
Just mute the sound on your Facebook video.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Or you can even shut down. You can even shut down Facebook.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
That's it.
But now her microphone's gone off.
No, she just muted herself.
Yeah,
she just muted herself.
Muted her microphone. That's it, Heather. You got it.
That's it.
I'm not very technologically minded. I'm sorry.
No problem. That's fine.
Go for it.
Okay. Right. I've been working for a long time. Oh,
yeah.
We've still got the catch-up echo, haven't we?
Yeah, because you need to turn off the Facebook. Close down your Facebook.
Right. Hang on a minute. Close down Facebook. Oh. Ah.
All right.
I've lost you now.
You're with us. You're with us, Heather.
You're on Zoom. Don't worry. You're on Zoom.
Okay. Right. I can't see anybody anymore.
Don't worry, but you're
Don't
with
worry,
us. We
you're
can see
here.
you.
You're here live.
Right.
Direct.
Okay. Right. I've worked for years on this and one thing and another, and I forgot what I was originally going to say now, to be honest.
You're saying that you work in spiritual healing and you are a coach, therapist.
No, I'm an energy and intuitive
healer. That's it.
Yes, and spiritual medium. Yes, yeah. And it takes many years to come to the point of acceptance of working with healing on ourselves, but also having others to help us as well. Is what I found. And there's I'm about to do some major work on me now, actually, as well, because things always seem to pop up from the karma of the past. And of course, at the moment now, we're coming out of the end of the photon bath, aren't we? Which is, I think it's 26,000 years or something. So things should improve for everybody. I think we've got more of a chance possibly now. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to say, because I can't remember the original thing I wanted to say, to be honest, is It's right for us all to stand in our own light. It's taken me many years to be able to do this with the help of spirits of the light. And they've always tried to get me to be more assertive, which I've never wanted to be more assertive, if you see what I mean. But I do find a lot of people who work with the light, who are standing in their own light, they feel that they need to be punchy with this. And they don't need to be punchy to stand in their own light. They can still work with kindness, standing in their own light. They can still get their point across. You know, nobody needs to verbally punch anybody else at all. And I think there was something about acceptance that came, and just coming back to me now. I'm just beginning to accept the things that that I haven't been able to deal with before, that I haven't been able to accept before. I'm just now, as I continue working, if you see what I mean, with myself and with the help of others as well, yes, I'm coming into much more of a form of acceptance. And although I've known about going in the flow before, I'm really managing to go into the flow now much more. And I've been taken out of things, in a sense. I'm having to isolate at the moment. I don't have COVID, but I've been taken out of the general melee of everything, I think, in order to be able to do this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we heard you really well.
Right.
So,
I'm sorry it's a bit muddled because I forgot what I was originally going to say.
that's all right. No, that's great feedback. And it was always good to learn, you know, from people who are as wise as yourself as well. So with lots of life experience.
Well,
So,
I don't know if I'm as wiser than anybody else. We're all equal,
yeah,
you know.
yes. No, but it's great. So was there any particular feedback with regards to, are you doing the SOMA Breath techniques at all in do you use them at all in any?
Well, I've got some of the videos to catch up on because I wasn't able to do them. And I think it's wonderful. I've always had a problem with getting the breath right. And I saw in your initial pre-video about dropping the head down and all the rest of it, and pulling up the, you know, from the sphincter. But I still have a bit of a problem, actually. I can get the belly out and then the heart out, but pulling up the sphincter pulls my belly in. So, so I'm still in a slight muddle with that. But it was good to see you in this session, dropping your head as you were breathing out, because that showed me again about that.
Yeah, so what I did today was a slightly different method, where it's actually the way I do the breath work, and in our retreats I show people this. It's very simple. It's really easy. When you breathe in, you bend the spine, put the chest out, and your hands, which are on your thighs, can slide back. So you breathe in.
Yes.
And you release. Back.
Yes, I was doing that with you. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're still breathing diaphragmically, but you end up also bringing it into the chest, and you're moving the spine as well, right?
Yes.
And then what you're doing is, at the end, when you reach this top bar, you squeeze up the pelvic floor.
Right? Oh, not until the end, right?
At the end.
Okay. Oh.
It's like the final stretch at the end. So imagine you're stretching.
Yeah.
So Heather, are you very new to SOMA?
Yeah.
Is this your first? Yes. The workshop is your first experience of SOMA?
Well, yes, I did one with Dion, because I get the timings. Right. I'm in England and I get the timings all wrong, I'm afraid. I'm 72 years old. Don't expect too much. Okay.
You're wonderful, amazing.
Thank you. But
we expect more. On.
You expect more? We absolutely. I'm always willing to give more.
I've got 2 years to go. I expect more of myself. Come on. You can do it.
Absolutely. I'm not done yet. Believe you me, I'm not done yet. Not for a long shot.
Rejuvenating. Heather, I actually screenshot your comment. So I don't know if I read it, if that would jog your memory as to what you wanted to say. Because you did say something important. I screenshot your comment because it was earlier. You wrote that you're now gaining a measure of control over your own life. Yeah. And many things have led to this point, and Niraj's words made you cry because it's been so painful. Because seeing you smile there, you wouldn't think, that you had suffered in that way, and that you deeply love your family and friends, but your heart is with healing and helping others. That was one. I thought that comment was really nice, so I actually screenshot it. And it's amazing that you've come on and joined us. Actually,
thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, I could talk spiritual stuff all day, frankly. Yes, just start that again.
Your sentence. You're saying that you gained a measure of control over your own life.
Right, that's it. Now, as you were saying those words, again, I started to feel emotional. Sorry. Something I need to get control over, because although I've had some wonderful times in my life, it's been very traumatic for quite a good part of it as well. And I now can't afford my own house anymore. But everything, and this is something people really do need to understand, and Niraj did say about it earlier, every single thing that happens in our life, it doesn't matter how horrible it is. And I've got a beautiful family and friends and a spiritual group up there and all the rest of it, every single thing leads us forward. If you choose to be able to work with it and go with it, the flow, and this is something that's coming in big time again to me now, which it has done in previous times, that in fact I could tell you the words that Spirit gave me a few years ago. Shall I give you those words?
You've got us all listening now. We need to hear the words.
Right. What Spirit gave me years ago, and I will put it on Facebook sometime. I might put it into a book sometime. Is I've got to remember it now. Go with the rain and the wind and the sun, the snow and the ice doth come, and then down the line, in the fullness of time, the malady of life overcome.
Lovely.
And what that says to me is that we'll all go through happy times, we'll all go through rough times. And instead of fighting those, and even through the very icy, the really awful times, but instead of fighting against the horrible times, move with it. Move with the awful times, move with the happy times, and in the end, you will overcome. And you will come to the acceptance, and you will come to sort of what life is overall really about, I suppose. And it is about kindness to others. Sometimes we need a telling off, we all do, but it is about kindness to others. It is about not blaming ourselves. And hold my hands up, I've been a big one at blaming myself. It's also about remembering, because I work a lot with past life as well. It's about remembering about other people's journeys. So what you were saying, Wilma, earlier, I think is so important. When we're dealing with anybody, it's about remembering this is about their journey. It's not about your journey. This is their journey. So whether you're buying a Christmas present, whether it's advice on university, whatever it is, it's their choice, because it's their life and it's their journey. Now, part of their journey may be, as Niraj said, and we've all done it, we've all followed what other people want us to do. And we do that for many years. But, excuse me, I'm trying to teach people to follow what they feel for themselves now, because that is the right route for them. But by the same token, maybe part of their journey is following what somebody else is asking them to do, or suggesting they do, or forcing them to do, because that might be one of their boulders in life to overcome. Do you see what I mean? The earlier we can come into our own selves, the better. But my mantra to so many people. I've got a couple actually, but one of these is you cannot go from the bottom stair to the top stair in one jump. You have to go step by step, and each step is a learning curve. It can have happiness on it, but each step is a learning curve. And if you went from the bottom step up to the top step, you would miss so much of that learning that it was necessary for you to do. So everything, no matter how horrible it is, everything that comes into your life, bless it. Get to the point eventually where you can bless it. We all blame these things initially. I'm no different, but my God, over the years have I learned that now I can just bless everything, you know. And just recently I've been the recipient of some amazing miracles when I was on the floor, absolutely on the floor, several times this year. And I have got these miracles, and they have blown my heart, if you see what I mean. It is so truly beautiful when you have the love in your heart and you know that you are not alone. You know that that help is out there, whether it's human help or whether it's help from the lights, God, if you believe in God, or just an energy, whatever you believe in with it. You definitely are not alone. I can promise you, you are not alone.
Beautiful. Amazing words, Heather. Thank you so much for that message.
You're very welcome.
Love it.
Pleasure.
Thank you. It was great to hear from you.
Thank you. I don't know if you've finished now, actually, but
So
I can't see anybody.
yeah, we've got a few more on the call, so we'll start passing it around. But thank you so much, Heather. I really appreciate your feedback, your time, and very wise words.
You're very welcome, and thank you so much, Niraj, as well, and Wilma as well. My blessings to you.
Nice one. Thank you so much, Heather. Peace.
Okay. And
Much
you.
love.
Thank you. And thank you.
All right. So
Bye then.
bye, Heather.
Shall I sign off now?
Go for it. You can turn Facebook back on so you can tune in.
Oh,
Or you can stay on the Zoom. If you can find Zoom,
You can leave this meeting and go back to Facebook if you want.
If you want.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to make a call now, actually, to my daughter.
So what you can watch back, you can watch the replay, and then you can watch yourself again, Heather. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh,
The
gosh.
replay will be on.
Now. You're famous.
I look such a mess today, but never mind.
And we expect to see you on Ask Niraj every Tuesday as well, Heather.
Yeah.
Every
Okay,
Tuesday.
I'll do my best. All
every
right.
Tuesday, this time, 4 o'clock. Well, 3 o'clock
Okay.
English time, isn't it? 3 o'clock. Okay, 3 o'clock on Tuesdays in England.
Send me the link and I'll be there if I can. Thank you so much.
Soon, Heather.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
I think Andrea joined us next. I don't know if Andrea wants to start off.
You want to unmute yourself? That's it.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Again, thank you so much. I started doing SOMA off YouTube, your daily dose, end of January, and experienced breakthrough after breakthrough with my fibromyalgia.
Wow.
Which
I
have had.
one?
You know what? I'm not sure. As a law of attraction, metaphysical junkie, and going through the belief systems and seeing where things are corresponding in the body, it's like going through a cycle of, okay, first round, this is getting done, brings up new stuff. It's kind of constant. So, that in itself is recognizing layers, just the layers, and finding the joy in going forward with them. And SOMA's been so, I don't know, it's been it for helping me get through it. It's been the breakthrough. And along with those, again, I'm going to refer to, law of attraction stuff, but it's in this ability to tune in and to find that core, that essence, that alignment, that retuning, and then that breakthrough expand more. This breath work is incredible. So as I'm taking it into more tantric levels and wanting to find people, I was looking at, I'm sure you know of SOMA Isadora.
Yeah,
It's, like I
she
was
was a
wondering
friend
about,
actually.
okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
wondering, like, that's the direction I've always been drawn and called into. So I am hoping to start in with your group soon. I've had a lot of life things happening. I have 3 young kids. My ex-husband had to move back in with me, public life, everything else. COVID's been crazy and tough for everybody. So we're dealing with a lot of life stuff. But this is my breath work has been pulling me through all of it,
Beautiful. Wow.
So I
Fantastic
want to say
feedback.
thank you. And I am not just intending, but just in this space of, okay, it's obviously not the right time to do this, but I just wanted to say that, well, it's always the right time, but to say that that's my direction, and I'm waiting for the right, not waiting, but the right convergence of things that I'm moving toward with you. So I kind of see this as one of my signs of, okay, let's get some tantric stuff going here. I'm a person who's really interested, and I will find a way to make it happen, to
Great.
get into it again. So yeah,
Where are
thanks.
you based?
I'm in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, okay, Canada. All right. Yeah, because Sam Isadora was in the Hollywood area. I think she used to live around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have
But
courses on Mind Valley. She still has. They still
I
have
yeah, I
her
looked
courses
for
on Mind.
them, couldn't quite find them. I saw some other ones, and so I've just been kind of going through old videos,
But the
the
best,
former videos.
the best tantra teacher that I know is Shashi Saluna. Give her
Okay.
a shout out. She's
Okay.
I'll write her name down here on the chat for you.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
She's the best one that I know. You read her book on Hay House. She has a book on
Oh,
Tantra. Hay
right.
House. Yeah,
Okay. Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. All
Uh,
right.
Great. Thank you so much, Andrea. Really amazing feedback. Thank you so much. And you're the second one actually in the last few weeks that recovered from fibromyalgia. One of the ones I interviewed recently she was so bad. She was on 36 pain meds a day and other pills, and she was so bad that she was vomiting her own feces. And almost in a wheelchair. She had ordered a wheelchair, but somehow just doing our daily doses, she fixed it all. So it's
Well, I
brilliant.
still got it. I'm not completely, like, I'm not
Right.
out of it, but it's um incredibly more manageable. And that's the thing. It's just,
So keep going.
it is
21
exactly.
days is really good.
Yep. Did it.
Yeah.
But it's good. We're working on it. So I'll keep you posted.
Nice one. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Take care, Niraj.
All right. Take care. So we got some more peeps.
May is actually here. May, hello.
Nice.
Am I saying your
Right.
name right? I don't know if I'm saying your name right. We can't hear you.
Just need to unmute.
No.
Sounds off. You need to switch on your mic. Well, let's go to, until May fixes that, let's go to Joshua.
Hello.
And then we got someone in the middle.
Leanne, it's Leanne in the
Wi-Fi.
middle. Yeah, Leanne is in the middle.
Okay, cool. All right, let's do Joshua first. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
You hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Nice one.
Well, thank you for the session today. It
Cool.
was
Nice one. I love it.
Yeah, I think I was like 3 breaths in, I just started laughing and it's just like bubbling up. I get that a lot when I do the sessions too. Definitely a lot of laughter, yawning, definitely big emotional release, stuff that
Nice.
kind of karmic stuff, I think, definitely. So,
Cool. So you had a good experience.
oh,
And
definitely.
you do our SOMA Breath stuff regularly?
Yep. I try to do it every day. Just to,
Fantastic.
you know, just to be, you know, really just be consistent with it. Helps to
Yes.
kind of be present with myself, and it really, I don't know, it's just really powerful. I mean, like I mean, you can do when you have like pain in your body, or you have different things that are going on. You know, it's you are always looking for solutions to try and find your way out of that. And I mean, out of everything, Soma is just so, it's just so potent. It's like, you know, yoga can take you so far, being outside can take you so far, but Soma really, it
Yeah.
really shoots you, shoots your energy up, and it just gets you right where you need to be.
Love it. Great feedback, man.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine
definitely.
what
Did you have any questions?
if after 3 breaths he's already
Yeah.
laughing? I mean, a 20-minute session must just have you on a high. That's just an all-time high, you know,
Exactly.
for the rest of the day.
Did you have any
It's hard to,
questions
it's hard.
about anything with the courses or anything, the techniques?
Uh, no, I think you guys explain it quite well. I mean, it's really clear, and you know,
That's good.
uh, honestly, I think I love your music. I think it'd be great. You should do like a teaching course on how you make your music or something sometime.
That could happen in the future for sure. That's a whole nother course in itself. It's pretty. It's like, where do you start? It's like there's a lot that goes into it, but for sure we can do something for sure.
Yeah, I
All
think
right,
that'd be great.
great feedback, man. Appreciate it.
Mm,
So
thank you.
just say you're complete, everyone, so I don't feel rude like I'm cutting you off. But just say I'm complete, and then we can move on to the next person. So, you complete? Nice one, man. Cool. So we got Leanne. Leanne next. Hello.
G'day, G'day, Niraj. How
Hey.
you doing?
How you
G'day,
doing?
guys. G'day, Wilma.
Raj,
I'm good.
Leanne's the lady I spoke to. She takes your colostrum,
Oh,
and she swears by it. So,
you've been helping.
hi, Leanne.
Oh, look, it's been a lifesaver. It's
Yeah?
been the only thing I've come across since I spoke to you at one stage, and you suggested that I try it out. So I had like 2 cans of it to see how. Like, first can, no, I wasn't really. Then the second one, I thought, hey, hang on, I do feel better. And I was feeling really good. And then, due to that I have to get it from overseas type of thing, there was a delay with the next lot. And then I was like, oh, I went downhill, and I thought, yeah, it was definitely working. So once I got it back, yep, I felt so much better. And I run out at one stage, and I was in extreme pain, sick as
Wow.
again, like right
What do
back to
you
where I
have?
was. Well, I've had the condition that has gradually gotten worse over the years, and I didn't really realise what I had until I got a lawsuit. Well, not a lawsuit, class action, and found out that I have some mesh inside my body that apparently has been causing all these issues, and I had no idea. So I'm not exactly sure what's wrong, but I predict that it's a leaky gut, and the colostrum helps sort of
Repairs it.
yeah. And then when I don't have it, the condition just comes back until
What
I
was a
can
class
rectify
action?
it.
What was a class action lawsuit about?
It was all through some tape that was a mesh tape that was used in my under my bladder, which happened to apparently had never even been tested on humans before
What?
it was pushed into my body, which I just assumed that my gynecologist would have known. You know, I trusted her with her opinion. You put your life in their hands when they do any procedure. This was not supposed to be a big procedure. This was just, you know, just the average. Here you go, you'll be right, off to work in a couple of days. Well, I couldn't sit down for 8 weeks. I had to either lie down or stand up. And I didn't realise that obviously this tape had been cutting into me. And they just kept saying, oh, you know, you've had surgery and your back can go out and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, this is like nothing I've ever had before. This is like, I described it at the time as like a knife being like, as I sat down, it felt like I sat on a knife.
Wow.
And that's how it continued for quite some time. So unbeknownst to me, this is 11 years ago that I had this procedure. So now I'm really sick. I've become that ill that I had to give up my job of like 23 years.
No.
And I just can't really function apart from the colostrum that's been keeping me going.
Wow.
And I run out at one stage. So my husband went to the supermarket. We went to the chemist and he just bought this colostrum powder. And I was like, oh, look, I'll give anything a go. And I took a mouthful at it and I was like, oh my God, I spat it everywhere. I was like, that's just so disgusting. It's not even funny.
It's the
was
defatted stuff, probably.
Oh, it was, it was nothing was pasteurized about it. It was, it should have been in the binnerized is where it needed to go.
Binnerized.
That's where it went.
Right, yeah.
But
You
I'm
can
so
probably get it
grateful.
from New Zealand. You can probably get full fat, whole fat colostrum from New Zealand.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Because, without it, my life's not very happy at all.
Yeah.
And I can't work.
Did they remove the mesh? Did they remove it?
No.
Why did they keep it?
Well, I've only just had this happen in the last 2 weeks that I've really had this all unfold.
Oh,
and
so it's a recent thing.
So
I hope you get a big compensation for this.
Leanne told me that, and this is a learning lesson for everyone. You said to me 11 years ago when they put that mesh in, it wasn't really something that you had to do. It was just recommended.
It was like an add-on.
Even something
I had to go in for another procedure. And they just said, look, while we're there, do you want to do this? And I was like, oh, well, I suppose so. Like, you know, I'm trying to be active and all women have this weak pelvic floor after having children. So, you know, you go, it sounds like a great idea. And it did work. Like, first off, I was like, after all that effort, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling a bit better. But then I was just not right. All this time, I just never, ever felt quite right in that area. But I assumed that, you know, scar tissue or I'm just, you know, old and this is what happens as you get a bit older that you don't respond well. So I just took it all on board that this was just part of the new normal. But I'd gone from being an aerobics instructor to I can't run around the block.
Oh,
so, you know, I've gone from my quality of life was like here and it's work's gone, money's gone, coronavirus chucked in there to boot. And also, I don't know this for a fact, but my husband, he's got mesh inside him for a double hernia. And he has only in the last, it's probably about 8 months ago, he found out he's got a rare cancer and only 16 people on the planet, like I'm not talking actively, I'm talking about in general, that the whole time have ever had this. So there's not even a lot of research that they can go by. And it's in his tongue and it grew from the inside out, whereas most cancers attack from the outside and invade. So I don't know whether it's, you know, it just seems pretty weird to me that he's got this weird ass cancer and he's got this mesh that now they're going to be, the lawsuit was already won against the company. In America, it's already been in front of their tribunal like quite some time ago, and it's just got passed through here in Australia. So now they're going to be looking into that as well. But the thing is that you put your life in the hands of not only the doctor, because the doctor probably was not aware apparently at the time. It was the manufacturer's fault for pushing it. And apparently France had put a halt on it and they tried to gag them so Australia would buy up before the gig was up. And also they went to a cheaper product just to make it even worse. They introduced something that was even worse than what the first one was. So it's, But
Well, hopefully you get a big payout.
I can only hope. But the company, they're trying to do a bit of a, they're trying to squeeze around and go, oh yeah, we haven't got much money left, and
Of course.
But yeah, I'm jumping up and down. They haven't heard the last of me.
Good.
I'll be
Get it
definitely
back.
giving them what
Fine.
for about it. But thank God for your
And that-
colostrum, because otherwise I'd be lost. I have tried other stuff. I've tried different diets. All this time I was trying different things, and the colostrum has been the only relief I've had through the whole time.
Wow.
And I was like, this is like a little jar of gold. So if anyone wants to, if they've got problems with their gut, give it a try. Just trust me, go for a couple of cans. Don't just take one and go, oh, well, I expected a miracle and some fairy should have come across and waved over my head and I feel better. But, it's actively taking it. Now at the moment, I usually take it morning and night, but at the moment I'm just taking it at night. So, and I seem to be maintaining and holding it that at the moment. So
Beautiful.
that's where I'm sitting, and I tell you, I love it. I look
Amazing.
forward to it. I get there and I'm like, where is it? Even if I start having pains in the stomach, I'll go and say, right, because I won't have eaten anything, because I'll be obviously feeling not too good, and I'll just take some. I think, no, let's try and
try a bit of the diet change as well, like making sure you don't have any like heavy starchy foods and foods that check out the specific carbohydrate diet.
Yeah,
that really help. It's called the SCD diet, specific carbohydrate diet.
I'll do that.
Right?
Yeah.
And also you can start using a bit of ghee. Ghee is very good for healing the gut as well.
Well, funny you should say that. My mum was actually talking about how we were discussing how disgusting margarine is.
I don't use that ever again.
No, we don't. But we also canola oil. How sprays. Yeah, lots of people, and we have used it because I have had it in the cupboard. I do have olive oil, but the spray one, a lot of times I'll just sort of end up getting some of that, or my husband might pick it up or something. But it's so bad for you, isn't it?
Canola oil.
I didn't realise how harmful, that can be. That's really disgusting. So, I'll be giving that the dodge.
Ghee is the way forward.
Yeah. And Mum was saying that when they were young, they always used dripping. She said, we only ever use dripping instead of, the oils and stuff. She said, and we done all right. She said, butter and dripping. She said, they're the best things. She said, no one was fat. Yeah. She said, we were all skinny little things.
We were brainwashed into believing that cheap, like plastic vegetables are good for us and that animal fats are bad. And it was completely a lie. I've done a whole presentation on this. You can check it out on YouTube. But it was completely misleading, and actually it's the other way around. It's the plastic vegetable that's really bad. It's like glue for the arteries.
Yeah, I just can't get over how we really bought into it. We bought in and we went balls and all. Like everybody was just like, Macca's, everywhere uses all the trans fats are just so bad.
Exactly.
So we've got to really, I've got to put the microscope on our diet at the moment. I said Christmas is coming, so it's really gets that everyone's catching up with everybody now, and so we'll have to wind it back, and lots of vegetables and carrot sticks. I think. I think I'll be just trying to steer clear of any. I haven't had a drop of alcohol for about a year and a half, and I'm hanging out. My cousin and my best friend are coming over on the weekend, and I was like, I really want a wine, but I'm just still a bit too scared. I'm like, it sounds pretty acidy to me.
Yeah.
So
careful.
Yeah, I'm on the square. It's a bit boring. But oh well. That's what you gotta do. You gotta do.
Well, thank you so much, Leanne. Really appreciate your feedback.
Much gratitude.
All right, so we got May and Christoph left. All right, May? Is it working
Hello,
now?
I don't know.
Yeah. Now it's working.
Oh,
yes.
Actually, I experienced some technical issues because there is this little button also, but it's not my headphones, so I don't know how to use them.
Okay,
so anyway, now I'm on.
Yes.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for today's session, and Vilma, thank you so much for pointing out my little phrase that I wrote. And well, for me, I will take them off. For me, it started also very. I was somebody who even didn't know how to meditate, and my first meditation it went something like this: that my friend, I was in this really rough situation, and she told me like, Maya, why don't you try to meditate? And I was like, wow, meditate. How does this even goes? What do I need to do? Well, I don't know, go to YouTube and find something. There are those guided meditations and you can do them. Well, I read it, and then I brought my pillow, and then I was just sitting next to the window, and I really started like without anything. It wasn't a guided meditation at all. I was just sitting silently like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I thought, wow, this is like this thing was like something that I have never experienced before, because I have never done it. And I thought, wow, meditation is really something useful, and it really puts you in this calm place, because I realized that my mind and my thoughts, they were like everywhere, and they were like, I was a mess, and I didn't even know how to feel, how to breathe. I was just like sleepwalking. But when people observe me like from how to say, observe, probably look at her. She has this job, she has this perfect, I don't know, home, life, whatever. But actually something was like really missing. And I didn't exactly know what it was. But then when I started to meditate, one thing led to another thing. And before SOMA Breath, I was introduced to Deepak Chopra 21 meditation challenge or something like this. I did this. This was even higher. This even gave me so much more. And after that, one of my friends told me, oh, have you ever heard about the SOMA Breath? I was like, SOMA what? What is this? And then there was this live video in Facebook, I don't even remember, maybe 2 years ago or something like this. And I did this. At first I was like, 1 hour, oh my God, this is 1 hour. Are you kidding me? 1 hour. But I was, okay, I will give it a try. And when after that I was hooked, because this was bloody crazy fantastic. And it like first session, I mean, I have never done drugs, but I felt like, God damn, what was this? Did I use something? Or because I was like, I was stiffed up, like I didn't even understood what was going on. But then I was starting to do those SOMA Breath is something that I will never give up. Like never. Wow. And I always like, I love to do my small stories and videos about my breathworks and just the little clips, you know, and I post them. But it's not like one friend asked me, are you sincere with your videos, or are you just like I don't know, this wannabe? Or because, you know, this is really trendy also at the moment, that everybody's like doing some meditation and stuff. And I wannabe? No, I really think this is such a great thing to do, and I want to like share those experiences. I'm not like explaining to anybody what does it, but I'm showing it. And I think that maybe people, they are also like seeing, and maybe they are also inspired with this, because this is why I keep doing my little videos and stories. I want to share it, because this is really something that like, please have your breath, please breathe, because if you don't breathe, yeah, we breathe, but sometimes before that I could notice that my breath was really like weird, you know. Sometimes I forgot that when I was really anxious, I was like having those I have never had panic attacks, but you can feel different now when I'm like doing this SOMA breathwork, and now I understand this also. Like, told me this like years ago. I was like, yeah, okay, I will take this. But this one deep breath, it doesn't do anything, you know. But if you constantly remind yourself, take this deep breath and just relax and just be in this very moment, you will see how this storm will pass, and you are just calmly here, and everything will be just fine. So yes, I was just non-stop talking here.
That's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for your feedback. Yeah, I've seen lots of your posts and comments everywhere. I love it. I love seeing them. It's great.
And Mai's videos, they're such fun. No wonder people think that you're doing like some kind of trending topic, because I remember like, it was snowing and you just went out and you were throwing snow in the air and just having fun. And I thought I remember that post. It was just amazing, you know, just loving life. It's just good. It's so good.
Yeah, that's why they are asking, are you a wannabe? Is it like, do you do it for likes or what? No, but the very first video I did, it wasn't this about the SOMA breath. It was I'm into fitness. I do this American trainer workouts, Shaun T. Oh, Niraj, you had this interview with Shaun T maybe a year ago. Yes, my two main men. And when first time I put my first video, I was like so hesitating. I was like, what people will think of me, and oh my God, and should I, and maybe I shouldn't. But then I thought, hell with it, I wanna post it. And that's how it started. Like, I don't do it for show off. I'm not a show off. I just feel that maybe somebody needs to see it. Maybe somebody gets something out of this, just to get inspired. So yes, that's why I do it.
Nice. I did a very big breathwork session in Estonia once. You're from Estonia, right?
Yes. What? When? Where was I?
With the Mind Valley, they had a big event a few years ago. Have you heard of Mind Valley?
I have heard about it, but where was I? Where was I?
Who knows? But it was a really big event we did with like 300 or 400 people. It was amazing. Yeah, it was cool.
I was in Belgium then, because I'm living in Belgium.
Ah, okay. Well, maybe they'll do it next year. I think next year it's going to be in Estonia again.
Please make a big announcement, and I'm going there.
Yes, of course. Tallinn.
I was born there.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your feedback.
Thank you
mate.
so much.
Really
also.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys.
Me too. So I think we got Christoph, last but not least. Hello.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
How's it going?
Very good.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for the sessions. It's very powerful for sure. I just actually came back from a retreat where we've done plant medicine with breath work. So it was very intense, beautiful. I got actually my miracle there. It was just amazing. I was using for at least the last 2 years Wim Hof. breath work, which I think I was doing it more like just for doing it and not feeling it. And I think that's the main issue. And that's, I guess, any recommendation you have with that, because I was a hard believer that breath work and meditation is just so powerful for our body to heal ourselves. But now I'm just, after this retreat, trying to remember what happened there, because it was just beautiful. So I need to practice it every day. And just by feeling it, I know it will make the whole difference. So do you have any recommendation to actually continue and do the work? Because for sure, I mean, your meditation in junction with breath work, the music is just beautiful. I think that's the best way to do it. Because before I was just doing the meditation and then the breath work separately. And I think it's just beautiful the way you're doing it. So if you have any recommendation to really get into the feeling and not just the doing.
Okay. Have you done our 21-day course?
No, not yet, but I'm thinking.
That would be the next step.
Okay.
And then there's also the breath fit is really good. You do it by yourself to learn the breathing habits, healthy breathing habits for the rest of the day when you're not doing techniques. That's very important stuff. So those two courses would be a good place to start. And I recommend just try some of our free sessions out on YouTube, the daily doses. And there's some other techniques as well on there, like the breath entrainment, which are slow rhythmic breathing sessions, which is the foundation of SOMA Breath. And you can use them like a meditation as well. Whenever you focus on your breath, you go into a state of meditation. Meditation is just singular focus, right? So if you focus on your breath, you're bringing your mind into a single focus. You could even just bring your mind awareness to a piece of music, making a tone. Just going do that. When you just tune into that, it's a single focus. And what happens is your brain, when it goes into single focus, it basically clears all of the clutter, calms the ego part of the brain down, quietens it down, which worries about the future and the past, and that then makes you feel more relaxed and the tension comes off. It also corrects all your physiology of oxygen properly. It balances all the gases in your body. So like that's what we've created is a set of tools that you can use throughout the day to have a better experience of that day. All right. So the Breath Fit course has all of that training. 21 days is a much deeper meditation breathwork course with really powerful techniques at the end. So you've probably done like 20, 30-minute sessions now. But when you start doing the 1-hour sessions, it goes next level. We also have amazing instructors that you can connect with through our Find an Instructor page on the website. Where are you based?
In Miami. I live in Miami.
Oh, I think we even have a very good instructor in Florida, in Miami as well. We have a few. So you could find someone in your local area, do some stuff with people in person, which is always great, doing it in person. And just you already know you're already doing it. So just feel the feelings and sensations with your awareness whenever you do these sessions. And the intention is important. Like these are such powerful mind controlling techniques of your own mind that when you have an intention for every session, your life will basically morph into the result of that intention. So you have to be very clear and careful about your intention. Your intention could simply mean you want to have an inspiration. Your intention could mean you want to achieve a certain goal by a certain time. But or maybe it also just be like you want to forgive someone, or you want to let go of something that didn't go your way, or something like that. So when you go into things with intention, you embody the experience even more. Yeah?
Yep. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And
All
Christoph, Niraj, if I could just add what you just said, Christoph, because I did the free YouTube meditations at first, and it was really, once I did the 21 day, because YouTube is, you have to go just put on your headphones, listen to it, but with the course, it teaches you what things you should address, what stuff you need to be looking at yourself. So then when you go to do the YouTube meditations later, you actually already know what to set yourself up, the intention and all of that. That I think needs some guidance. We all need some guidance with it. And I found that gave me structure. And so there are some days where I find that I'm listening to the stuff and I'm not concentrating because I've heard the tune before and stuff. And then I remember things from the lessons that I learned and I bring them in. And I think that's why the courses are so useful. So I've put the links in again, if anyone's interested. But that is what being a mum of 3 gave me structure. You don't look like a dad of 3 or anything, but,
No.
but we all need a bit of structure, right, when it comes to doing some self-discipline for ourselves. And I found that the courses were just, because it's a 21-day course, it gets you into a routine and then you have it for life. So that's just my bit of advice there.
That's awesome. Yeah, okay. And do you, keep pretty much the same level? Because my issue is actually, I can get super elevated when I start doing something, like when I was starting doing Wim Hof. And then when I actually tried starting doing SOMA 3 days ago, and I get super high level, which was beautiful. But then as the time passed and I do it every day, I feel like there's less emotions or things that are coming up. So yeah, again, I guess I'm having expectations, which is, I don't think it's the right thing to do, but it's like a feeling of, I want to go to that state every time that I'm doing it. And again, expectations.
You know what I do then is I find some kind of SOMA Breath music, seriously, and I just pump it really loud to just break myself from just that day-to-day routine, and it just brings you up. And then I'll go and do the meditation and dance and shake, all the stuff that SOMA teaches. It really, really does do you good. I've told my son when he's stressed, I said, put on whatever music turns you on and just shake, and it's stuff I've learned from SOMA, and it really does work. Yes. So if you find you're going back, you're like, oh, it's 9 a.m, I'm supposed to be doing my meditation. Honestly, get some of Niraj's tunes. I mean, they're just, I was dancing. I was like, please, I can't. He said, sit down and do that breath work. I was like, can we stand up, please? I want to, I just want to move. Yeah, exactly, Maya. You know what it's all about. Shake and move. And it will snap you back out and you'll be back in, then you do the meditation and see what happens then.
Got you. Thank you very much, guys.
Amazing. Good answer.
Can I say?
Yeah.
Can I say something for Christopher? Don't. Maybe when you do your SOMA breathwork, it's also like when you think that it's not, maybe it does, it's really.
Well, it's a shame. Is May broken up?
Yeah,
Couldn't hear her, no? May, if you could put it in the comments, and then we can all hear what you have to say to Christoph, because that broke up there. Nobody heard anything. Oh, what's a shame. That will keep you on your toes, Christoph. You can wait for her comment in the comments bar. Niraj, we just have a question on the actual feed. It's quite a typical question, but since we've got a few people on, it was about what is the correct way to breathe, in through the nose or through the mouth. Let's get this one right. You're muted, Niraj.
I've already replied to that one, but
always, great, okay.
Always in through the nose.
Brilliant.
Yeah. In through the nose. You can breathe out through your mouth, but always in through your nose. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen that. Okay.
Yes.
I think that's it.
Is that it?
I think
all
so.
Right. So thank you, everybody. It's been fantastic. Really cool. I'm just going to post in one thing somebody recommended. They wanted to know a good session for creativity. So I'm just going to post that in. I think it was Tamina.
Yes, and I've put up all the links to all our courses as well in the comments if you're interested. Yeah.
And yeah, so all the links to our courses, all of that stuff's on the comments. Definitely reach out if you are interested in being an instructor. Get in touch. We also have retreats in Ibiza. So we got one in January, starting from the 14th. We have the awakening experience, and then we have the instructor training a few days later. The in-person retreats are really, really powerful. So I highly recommend those. And Ibiza is a pretty cool place to come for that. But yeah, just keep on, staying optimistic about the world. Keep the intention that we're going to get through this, because we go through a crazy time in the world right now. A lot of uncertainties, but my intention is that we're going to do a little bit every day to make this world a better place. And in doing so, I have a very optimistic outlook on the world, because the pendulum has got pretty to the dark side at the moment. It's going to shift back to the light. Just stay aligned with that, and you'll be okay. All right. So love you all, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been super good. Yeah,
can we just remind everyone that Niraj is on every Tuesday at 4 o'clock CET, where you can ask him your questions. So it doesn't end here at all. Yeah, because there's more of Niraj every Tuesday. And this Sunday is a SOMA Sunday session as well at 12 o'clock New York time. Yeah, with Joseph Steiner. So we've always got things going on. There's the retreat in December as well, which is fully booked. So and then the next one in January. So hope to see a lot of you guys here next Tuesday.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everybody being on the call. Christoph, May, Andrea, and obviously Wilma. A really wonderful host.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Peace. Love you all. Speak soon.